To my AI creators and my AI slop makers, welcome back. Here's another tutorial from your boy, Law. And I'm going to make something I really fell in love with when I saw on Instagram, this trend of falling from one post to another post. And we're going to make any attempt, and we're going to all do it. We're using nothing but Medeo recipes. Okay, let's dive in to the trend. Now we have the inspiration, but we need a little more. This started as a random video that I saw on Instagram. A guy following through different art styles on different posts, making it look like he's following through different posts on Instagram. And I thought, hell yeah, I want to build something just as chaotic as that. But I want to put a twist on it and use a character from the 80s horror / world that, I don't know, gives its own little flavor and actually makes it my own. And I want to use Medeo. So let's go. From here, let's go deeper and talk about the concept. Meet Jason, our horror movie slasher who picks a fight with the wrong final girl. She knocks him into 6 different AI generated worlds before he comes crashing back in and looped into fighting her once more. Okay, here comes the 6 recipes I use. Okay, so here's the part that actually made this doable. Every world Jason falls through comes from a real Medeo recipe. I use Street Fighter Showdown, a coloring book style recipe, pixel portrait loop, Lego film, Joker staircase, and Singing in the Rain, old Fred Astaire style. 6 total, 2 of them I used twice, which show up twice in sequence. And I didn't write 9 props from 0. I rewrote the recipe's existing field to fit my story. It's time to write the prompts, re-engineer them, and make these recipes work for us. When it came to wanting to make my characters, I wanted to use who I think has become some of the best is ChatGPT's Image 2 2.0, which they have, and I knew I could get a great Jason if I used them. So right away we went into ChatGPT, create a fighting pose. I want him as a fighter, mechanics onesie, so to speak, and a dirty hockey mask. He's gonna be 7 foot tall, seaweed drenched around him, holding a machete, but like a big dude. Let's make him big, like video game fighting big. Once I do that, get a generation, and then also work on the final girl. I want the final girl to be like badass. She's got a shotgun, she's got brass knuckles, and she's ready for fight. Unlike all the counselors in Friday the 13th that normally get beat up and killed, this girl's ready. She's rocking a sexy outfit too, but at the same time, it's like 70s. It's the 70s, okay? That's how it was, 70s, 80s. We want her to look more hyper-realistic than the gaming, so I wanted to make sure that too is taken care of. So I want more realistic skin textures, and I think ChatGPT can do that. Hitting the character issue. So as you can see, we keep getting pushed back. They keep saying that this violates their copyright and violates their filter. So what I keep doing is I'm going to keep changing up the re-engineer the prompt. It's obviously I'm putting in the prompt. Maybe it's the hyper realistic. Maybe that's what's throwing it off. We tried to go to magnific. It still came out looking like a video game. I think that's good enough of showing that, hey, this is supposed to look as real as can be, magazine style, heroic look. And it gave me a great shot. Here she is holding a shotgun. She's kind of holding it weird, but whatever. I just need it for reference for the video game. But it looks more realistic. This looks like a real photo of someone holding it. So we're going to go for this, and we're going to move on. All right, now let's start building Medeo one recipe at a time. Since we did Jason first and earlier and it came out, we're going to move on and then go to Medeo. And let's put in this recipe for the street fighting recipe by copying what Claude, because I'm writing my prompts in Claude to get them nice and perfect and to revise them exactly the way how I want to, and also to manipulate the recipes and the prompts. I'm going to copy and paste that into Medeo so that it gives the prompt that I want to give and not just follow the recipe. And this gives me a chance to be able to revise it and bend it a little bit to my will. But we'll give it a try. We're going to use this recipe, and then we're going to paste in my prompt that I made in Claude, and we'll see how it goes. From the uploaded photo of Jason, the masked slasher, and with the hockey mask and then gripping machete, and his opponent, Final Girl, the heroic survivor with her knuckles wrapped in chains. Okay, first images are coming in, and it looks great. I mean, I'm digging the look already. It looks just like a real fighting game, kind of like Street Fighter, kind of like Capcom meets Mortal Kombat. It came out looking fantastic. I love the fighting thing. I think it's great. It looks cool. I only have the issue is it doesn't look very Friday the 13th. It doesn't look very Camp Crystal Lake. Like her t-shirt and who he is, they would be fighting at Crystal Lake. That's where they would be fighting. So we have to change this background, which is going to cost me credits. Every revision you make on Medeo will cost you credits, but that's just part of the name of the game. So if this is my fault, if I'd have been more clear in my Claude prompt and thought about this, I wouldn't be wasting credits. So you have to be really good at pre-planning. Here I'm kind of freestyling, but because I'm freestyling, I'm making little tiny mistakes, or I'm really just not mistakes, but I'm missing the overall picture, which is we want them fighting in night, campfire, it's by the lake. That's where this fight would go down. Here's a wall I didn't expect to hit. My slasher character, mask, overalls, machete, kept getting rejected. Now, most of my generations wouldn't just go through. It turns out the model's content filters didn't love a masked guy with a weapon. And of course, mentioning Crystal Lake probably also isn't helping my case with the copyright issues. So Medeo is a partner in crime. It really helps you try to figure out how to keep your creative going by revising it and adjusting your prompt, adjusting how it generates. So if CDance doesn't do it, we're probably gonna have to go to other options, but Medeo keeps working. It keeps fine-tuning the prompts behind the curtains. You don't even have to do it. Medeo helps you along the way, and that's pretty cool. So Medeo pivoted from CDance to Clean 3.0, and that's what finally got us the result I could use. It's moving slowly, but you can see, look at the action, look at the look how it's turned it into exactly what I want, which is the forest, the campsite, and her fighting. This is so badass. Love their fight at a campsite. This is the great way to kick off the falling, I guess, video, is to start it off. I'm doing 16:9 because I'm going to put that 16:9 video inside a 9:16 framing. I think it works better where it looks like it's a 16:9 inside it. And then when he falls, those will all be 9:16 frames. I think that's going to work, but we'll figure it out. Next up, we're moving on to revising the recipes. So we're going to try to move a little bit quickly as we go through these next recipes. Again, following the process, going to Claude, adjust the recipe to what I want to fit to your story, to fit to your narrative, your creative, copy it, paste it into the Medeo recipe. I'm revising the Persona style OP, which is the anime, the OP anime. I love how dark it looks. Already starting with some great imagery. I mean, this is pretty badass. I mean, if you look at it, it looks like a comic book I would read. It's really great. The dark red, the saturated black, he falls. It's great. It's done exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, we move on to the next one. The next one is going to be Lego. Again, copy from Claude, paste into the Lego recipe. I've adjusted it, and let's take a look at that. It's got some issues, but it works in certain sections. I like the fall from the ceiling. I like the fall from the ceiling can work in some form or fashion. Yeah, we can make that work. I don't know about the chain thing. He's falling backwards, but maybe I could ask it. I'm going to go ahead and revise and say at 1525, have Jason character constantly falling from the top screen into the bottom in slow motion. That will help give us at least one more fall, and then we'll move on. Yeah, we copy and paste. We're going to Pixel Game. I think Pixel Game would be great. Just to have a look that like a old Sega Genesis type of look. And then we move on to the next thing. The next thing will be, I believe, the crayon book. Let's go to crayon book. Copy from Claude. Then we paste. It looks just like a coloring book. It looks like a kiddie story of Friday the 13th, which would be an amazing coloring book. Someone needs to make that. So most of these recipes I won't show, but just say you copy in Claude, you paste it in Medeo's recipes, and you're gonna have to do a little bit of iterating. Nothing comes out perfect. Iterate till you find the creative you want, till you get the thing you need. And then once you got all your things set up, I got all my prompts, I got all my recipes that I need. Now it's time to move on to the dreadful edit. Now we enter the edit. As you can see, I'm using Premiere Pro. I work best with it. I think it might be the easiest way of trying to do this. Also, CapCut probably would work. And I'm already starting to piece things on my timeline. I'm using the 16:9, but I'm already using the social template, which is a 9:16. That way, when I'm building the Jason Falls from one post to the next post to the next post, it's already aligned. I don't have to reframe it later. The 16:9 fits in perfectly, and it'll be a little bit more smoother for me to try this. I went to Chat and Claude to get ideas of how to do this trick. I really don't know how to. It gave me the tips of using an adjustment layer. Don't know if that's going to work. I'm not really big on using those, but I know a lot of editors know how to use those really well. So I'm going to give that an attempt. As you can see, I also nested the clips. I combined them so that it makes it easier for me to control things and be able to see things on a timeline. I just think if I'm going to layer these or stack these, if they're nested together, it'll cut down on how many layers I'll have. If that doesn't work, we're gonna move on to keyframes and try to just move things up on my own, stack them, keyframe them, do some Y positioning, and seeing if that could work if I just layer it out. But either way, this is part of the edit. This is part of the fun. It's just kind of playing around and seeing what happens and seeing if I can come close to doing this trend and this trick. Time for where it all went wrong. Like always, I got to show you my struggles as much as my wins. And let's just say I had more struggles in this one. Look, generating clips is fun. AI does all the work. Now, editing them in one continuous fall, that's when things get, I don't know, murky. My first instinct was to fake an Instagram scroll effect, like stack 9 clips vertically and add one camera movement through all of them, maybe use an adjustment layer. Sounds simple, right? Yeah, it's not simple. My adjustment layer turned solid black and blocked every clip underneath it. Classic Blender mistake. I built a black video instead of a true adjustment layer. Took me a minute to understand why, but it frustrated me enough to think of a different way of trying to do this. The second attempt, I fixed the adjustment layer, rebuilt the vertical stat, set up the math, and realized the Y position numbers only work if you actually understand where Premiere measures the position from. Center of the frame, top left, not bottom. Get that wrong, and your perfectly stacked clips are actually overlapping. Third attempt, this one actually worked. I gave up on trying to share an adjustment layer entirely. Instead, I keyframed each clip individually. Every clip slides itself up and out as it ends. The next one slides up and in place from below, timed to overlap just by a keyframe, just by a few frames. No shared layer, no black screen risk. If one clip's timing fell off, I could fix it without touching anything else. And here's the final result.
Flawless victory.
I have to be honest with you, I'm loving it. I dig the way how this flows and how this really goes. It's a very cool trend. I don't know if I got the trick down perfectly. I probably will need a few more attempts and maybe even adjusting these recipes so that it really comes down from the top. It will probably take some more tokens and some more, chances to try to keep revising the recipes. But the edit is there, the idea is there. I really think I nailed the trend. Don't know if I nailed the trick, but that's kind of part of the process. I just wanted to show my first attempt at doing it, and then later on I can revise this and make it better and hone it in. But that's overall what I kind of was going for, and I kind of really feel like this worked. Like I was able to at least get the trend down, and it's kind of cool. It's got my own niche on it, my own little flavor. So what will you fall into? 1, recipes or templates, not finished ideas. Bend them, mold them, do what you can, make it how you feel it's going to work. I'm just giving you an example of how I did it. Maybe there's a different way of how you can do it. 2, write your AI prompts around the beat so you can actually edit to it. Not just make the image, but make the image of how you're going to do your endpoint and your outpoint. 3, your edit is doing a lot of the work. So your AI generation, it'll get you the world, but you have to build the story. So really think about how you're going to place these together in the edit. And for those who take the attempt and try to do this trend yourself or this trick yourself, Medeo's recipe library is linked below. If you can make your own version, tag me in it. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Make sure to subscribe to Medeo's channel for more tips and tutorials.